welcome to another edition of the Field of 68 Off the Carousel series. I'm Sean Paul, joined by Detroit Mercy head coach Mark Montgomery. Coach, how you doing at your new gig here?
Doing great. We're in summer basketball, as I say it. We get 8 hours a week, 4 hours in the weight room, 4 hours on the floor. We're trying to get used to a lot of new players that we
hmm
brought in this past spring.
So, what I wanted to talk to you first about is for a lot of head coaches that are first time head coaches, it's a lot different. But you've already been there, you've already done that. You were a head coach at Northern Illinois for a decade, so you know what it's like to be a head coach. How different is it this time being a second time head coach?
I wouldn't say it's a lot different. I think I'm probably even more excited because I know the speed bumps potentially I could hit.
hmm
I've already called timeouts, already lived through a season, in season, out of season. I've hosted student athletes on recruiting um, trips to campus. So it's just, I just got to hit the ground running and remember what got me here and just make sure I bring energy and effort every single day.
I would say one of the differences from 2021 was your last year in Northern Illinois, right? Is
Yeah.
probably NIL, right? I mean, NIL wasn't what it was at all then to what it is now. How different and how more difficult does that make being a head coach?
Sean, you're right. You said the two biggest differences, that and the transfer portal.
Yep.
I would say the transfer portal first because before when I was a head coach, you had to a player had to sit out.
hmm
Now it's open, it's free agency. They could
Yep.
play right away. And then you say that I always call it the nil package where, you know, education, room book tuition and fees are good, but
hmm
now that little extra kicker that everyone wants to talk about, it's out there. Students can make a little extra money with their name, image, and likeness. It's tricky because in our situation, in certain cases, they haven't established themselves in college. Everyone wants to go on what they did in high school, and everyone knows high school to college are two different games.
Oh yeah. So I would say one of the biggest things probably when you're recruiting a bunch of freshmen, this team has a fair amount of incoming freshmen. Is it that you pitch them, hey, you could be here for a couple years, and if you're good enough, you can transfer up? Is that part of your recruiting pitch at all, or is it, Detroit Mercy and we want you to be a star here for 4 years?
Well, we definitely want them to be a star. Now, what they're going to do after they become a star is totally you have to deal with it.
hmm
It's the business now. Um, they look at the major conferences. I know the major conferences. I'm coming from Michigan
hmm
State, the track, who's all conference, who's all freshman. And if they get their opportunity, I always say to get to that opportunity, you have to perform where you're at. So I think that's my biggest sell. I'm not saying how many years you have to stay. Of course, I would like them to stay, graduate, help us get to multiple NCAA tournaments, but it's their choice now. So they have to do what they have to do. But at the same time, as a head coach and with my staff, we're going to make sure we're tracking other student athletes, other recruits, just in case if someone leaves.
You talk about coming from Michigan State, obviously, you went there, you've had a couple different coaching stints there. You played for Coach Heathcote, you coached under Tom Izzo. What was it like being there, and what does that program mean to you?
Well, it means a lot, like you said, I did wear the colors. I stayed 4 years. You make it through the good, bad, but I think it's a lot more good. This is experiences, the relationships, um, I love the practices, I love the games, but the friendships with Coach Izzo, the staff, my best friend Dwayne Stevens, we played together, we coached together at Michigan State. Now he's at Western
hmm
here. We're gonna go against each other, but a lot of learning lessons that you have to roll up your sleeves every day and go to work. You have to develop relationships, maintain relationships, and stick by what you say. Um, Basketball wise, it's great because you're always playing the best teams in the country.
Yep.
You're recruiting the best student athletes, but facility wise and those different things, it has all the bells and whistles. But I also enjoyed my time at Northern Illinois at the
hmm
Mid but Michigan State is always going to be a special place in my heart.
So one thing is, I talked to one of your former players, Eugene German. I knew him a little bit throughout the years, and he told me if I told him how he would describe you, and he said you're a machine and you want to get the best out of your guys every day. How much does that mean to you to want to make sure you get 100% from your guys every day?
Well, being the machine, I don't know. We work a lot of hours, and I do want the best out of our of my guys, of our student athletes. I remember I challenged Gino, athletically. Most guys want to bring it, they want to work out, they want to get better. Socially, we want them, they come in as young men, we want them to leave as men. And then academically, I want them to graduate. You
Mhm.
have to earn your 120 hours. And if I can do those three things and make sure I have a good relationship and give them good experiences, I think I did my job. And uh, I know Eugene German, unbelievable hard worker,
Mhm.
not just during practice, but the hours and hours he put in before and after practice. That's why he's successful right now playing basketball.
If you haven't heard by now, we have partnered with BetMGM Sportsbook. We're going to be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers of the Field of 68 throughout the year. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, you can use bonus code FIELD, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. The best part, all you need to do is deposit and bet $10 of your own hard-earned money to be eligible. Here's how you make it work. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using that bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you will receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure that you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. BetMGM is going to have some fun offers available throughout the NBA playoffs. Bet insurance tokens, odds boost, and what I love, a nice parlay booster too from time to time, as well as a ridiculous array of player prop bets for any sport that you could possibly imagine betting on. BetMGM is and always will be the king of the prop bet. So go download the BetMGM app, use the bonus code FIELD, and sign up today. And while I've got you, a quick request. The best way to support the Field of 68 content that you get for free is to engage with us. Rate and review the podcast. Like and share the YouTube videos. Tell your friends about us. It all helps in a world where the algorithm is king. And now, back to the show.
Yeah, getting buckets in China for sure. I mean, I see some of those videos, pretty crazy. There's high level hoops everywhere. But the how do you find a star like that? I mean, you guys have some guys coming in this year. You get Orlando Lovejoy and Legend Jeter from Eastern Michigan. I want to see a bit how that came to be because you get two dudes from the MAC level. Obviously, Jeter started a little bit higher, but you get two dudes who are local to Michigan who have already played in Michigan. How'd you land both of them?
Well, that starts with my relationship with Lamonte Stone. He was at Eastern Michigan, but he also coached Legend Jeter at River Rouge. We go back 25 plus years. When I was at Michigan State, he was at Ohio State. When I was at Northern Illinois, he was at Bowling Green. So when you're potentially going to be a head coach, you always look for those assistants potentially potentially might want to work with you. And his relationship with them also being, as I say, Detroiters.
Hmm.
Uh, Lovejoy grew up a few miles away from Detroit Mercy. He was still training here in the summer. Legend Jeter,
Really?
like I said, at River Rouge. I think they're a good blend of when you get some transfers that understand what Detroit Mercy basketball is about. They've been in the city. That kind of helps jump start us a little bit because they have Division One experience, MAC experience. I think MAC and Horizon, it's right there, very, very competitive, and they can help bring some of our young guys along because they do have that college experience.
And then another guy I wanted to hear a little bit about from you is Ryan Hurst, a guy who entered the transfer portal but decided to come back. Played in only 5 games last year, but he made a huge difference for Detroit Mercy when he was on the floor. Averaged 12 points per game in those 5 games. Had a really big game against IUPUI. What are you expecting from him in his first full season?
Well, first of all, Ryan Harris has to get healthy. Um, he went out with that foot issue last year, and I think he's been a great student athlete.
Yeah.
We got that part. He's still been banged up this summer. He's only limited to certain things he can do. But when you look at the stats, obviously, as you say, he can go get a basket or he can go
Hmm.
get a he averaged over 12 and a half in his 5 starts. He does have Division I experience. When you're off for as long as he's been off, he has to gradually bring himself better. But just I think with his scoring, I always want guys. I try to not. I know that's one of his strong suits. I try to say to our guys here now that if you could do the not if you can just do the effort things, defend, rebound, run,
Hmm.
skill things that if they're natural to you, you're going to be able to do, and that's dribble, shoot, and rebound. So we're going to need Ryan Hurst to step up, be healthy, and make sure we get those effort things.
I was hoping you'd mention defense a little bit because some of your better teams at Northern Illinois were defensive led teams. Is that the similar kind of style you're hoping to bring to Detroit Mercy? And would you kind of call yourself a defensive first head coach?
Well, it seems like you get labeled that when you come from Michigan State, but I think we're one of the we like to get out and run. But to win games, you're going to have to defend and rebound. You have to stop someone from scoring.
That's
Our
true.
goal is always hold them under 40% field goals and under 30% 3-point field goals. Then we're going to give ourselves a chance. Um, but offensively, I just don't want to be labeled as a defensive guy. We want to get out and run. We want to play freely. We want to share the basketball, but to make our waves, um, to find our way through this conference, to move up in the standings, you're going to have to, I would say, you have to build a wall and help each other on the defensive end, and at least semi-guard a guy and have some physicality.
So obviously the connections to Michigan, I'm sure, played a large role, but you're inheriting a program that won one game last year. Obviously, they've had some more success in recent seasons when they had Antoine Davis, and obviously Mike Davis had a few successful seasons there. But overall, what made this job intriguing? And ultimately, I'm sure leaving Michigan State again wasn't an easy situation to leave, but what made it now the right time to leave?
First of all, you got to go for the opportunity. It's only so many of these jobs.
Yeah.
Two, I'm back at home. I played high school basketball at Callahan Hall. It's a story. Three, I love the conferences and we're right here. We're Midwest Conference. I think the conference is wide open. Obviously, Oakland was very successful, and you've had Northern Kentucky, Wright State, Cleveland State. It seems like it rotates.
Hmm.
Youngstown, very good. Milwaukee, like last year, the coach is a first year coach, a second year coach. He got to the conference finals. You had the guy at Green Bay, Sundance Wicks. Now he's very successful season there. Now he's at Wyoming. So I think that I was excited because it's a basketball only conference. When
Yep.
you're in the back, you do have to battle football, and some schools are battling hockey. At Detroit Mercy, it's all basketball, and that's exciting, of course, with President Taylor. After talking to him, who could say no to him? Robert Vowles, the AD. So you just want a chance that I know this administration believes in me. They believe that Detroit Mercy could be very successful in the basketball front. I think academically, unbelievable school to be a part of. Are you going to get a quality education? So some of those things you can't turn down. My wife is from this area. I grew up in this area. It was a no-brainer. I'm just fortunate enough to get the job, and I'm looking forward to it.
Too many connections to turn down, is that right?
Too many. The relationships, the recruiting ground, the conference. I mean, after watching the school down the street be successful, I mean, you could be successful in this lead. I know back in the day when I was at Michigan State, Butler came out of the horizon.
Oh yeah.
They played in the national championship game. So we have recruiting ties. We have great facilities. We have a great school. I wanted to be a head coach again. It's nothing like running. It's nothing like running your own program. That's what I get excited to do every single day.
So for you guys to obviously going from one win to making the NCAA tournament, that'd be a big leap in year one. But for you, what's the goal for this team in your first year there?
Well, we're building foundation right now. I thought we've recruited good student athletes. It starts with that. It's going to start with developing players now, getting better every single day. I don't want to put a win-loss or a win total on what's going to make us successful. I think the second part of the season, once we get through November and December, and then we're in January, February, March, we're going to be getting better. We want to be playing our best basketball at the end of the year. Make sure we make a run in this conference tournament, and then continue to recruit and get players better.
So that was my interview with Detroit Mercy head coach Montgomery. Thank you for coming on and taking the time.